Shaun is here.
There we go.
There you go. Shaun is here. Habibi, how are you?
Hello, hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
How much Arabic you can speak?
Zero.
At least you can say Arabic. You can say Habibi.
Uh,
Habibi, if you know, if like it's 50% used word in Arabic world.
I can barely speak English, so that's all I got.
Well, thank you so much, brother. You are this community's very first guest and most important one, right? So I really appreciate your time. Hopefully, we're gonna make it super worth it for you and your time. Well,
Absolutely.
before I start that, and give you the mic because we never get enough of you talking and giving us all your wisdoms. I want to just give you a background of this community. This community basically, not they didn't know about Go High Level, they didn't know basically about the SaaS model, right? And sometimes they think I am the SaaS, like whatever founder, or you are the SaaS. Wait, SaaS is a business model, and
That's awesome.
yeah, and giving us. So, would you teach us, including me today, what is SaaS today? Like, but with your words, what is SaaS and why it's so important than other business models?
Yeah, it's really not that difficult, actually. It's just this idea that, there are all these software companies selling to your customers, and all of them are essentially making money off your customers. And we would really like to see you make that same money instead. So we really want to make sure that, because what we realize is if you really look at how this works, most of the time there is a person who goes into a organization or a company and takes a tool and actually makes that tool work and do something awesome for that business. But today, most of the time when you do that, if that's you're not only are you often not getting credit for doing that, but you're often not, and you're often never getting any revenue from it. And so we thought, well, wait a second, what if we could change this model? So what if we could make it so that when you actually put that software in place, you actually are the one charging for it and the one making money off of it, given that you're already the one supporting it anyways. So really SaaS is about taking everyone and moving to a place where they're making money off selling software, not just selling services.
Plus, like you can be the owner of that software, which is huge.
Exactly.
Like honestly, 10, 15 years ago, that was only millionaires area to play, and
Yeah.
we couldn't get close to the SaaS business model because it requires a lot of money. And now
Exactly.
today, there's company like Go High Level tell you, you know what, there's a huge department of developers department and product enhancement, all that stuff. I'm gonna take all that headache out of your shoulder for a very part-time salary project. So if you wanna, like in few words, basically they know what is Go High Level now and everything. What is your vision? Like the impact, what's your vision towards the local businesses?
Yeah. So, I've always wanted to help local businesses, and I've been in local business my entire career. But what I realized is that like without someone holding the hand of the local business, we're really not going to help them the way we want to, right? So I'm a software engineer by trade, so I'm always thinking, building tools and building features. But all the features in the world don't help a small business because they don't have the time. And this is the really important piece to actually implement and put these tools to work, right?
Mhm.
So it's really about when I realized that there are all of these amazing people out there already helping small businesses achieve this reality. I thought, okay, how do we enable you with those tools, right? How do we help make you the people not only providing the service, but also actually providing the product and bringing them together, because they truly are one in the same, right? The tool by itself doesn't do anything. The service by itself needs that tool to help enhance it, right? Or often you push your services through those tools. And so ultimately with that, well, how do we create like a one-stop shop? And as the small business owner, I really love that because now I don't have to worry about, do I go on a sales call with some salesperson from some software company, and then how do I hire somebody to help me and this and that? I can go to one person, get both solutions, and ultimately I can win, and I can go back out to doing what it is that I do really well. Because if I'm a plumber, I am a really good plumber. Like there are sophisticated, complex, difficult things in plumbing, and you need an expert to do that. In order for me to stay on craft and really do a great job, I need to spend all of my time being that plumber. But I can't not market my business. I can't not manage my clients. I can't not, do those sorts of things. And so I need someone to help me. And so I think it's a perfect pairing. And to the really larger vision, I actually think this is how all software will be sold in the future. And I think we are very early to this model. And I think we are pushing this model. We are helping create this model. But I really don't see a world, particularly in SMB in the future, where software is going to be purchased by the SMB by themselves without anybody helping them. And because I think of it as no different than going down to the hardware store and buying a saw and a hammer and nails and saying, you know what, I'm going to now go give this to my home remodeler and say, here you go, go remodel my house. It never works like that. It's crazy. No one would think to do that. And I think that's what's happening right now in small business software. And I think we're going to change all that.
I 100% agree with you. And you have like, I hear you talking also about that. It's digital marketing, the entire marketing and the software for a business, for as a business owner, for us, because we are the software and whatever we're playing, we think the plumber, Justin, Mike, Muhammad, whatever, he is the same shoes. No, for him, the accountant, let's say Claudia, his accountant, Justin is his lawyer, and Tim or Shaun is his digital marketing or software or whatever. So you are for him just a piece of his, like pillars in his business he needs to take care of you. So also, like, I want to later on, maybe a few more questions. I want you to teach us, like, you have a beautiful strategy, and I always translate that from your, I steal it from you. Position yourself as a bill instead of a huge, whatever. I love that. And even the weight on his shoulder, don't be his like consultant and 24, like in his day, 3 hours with you, like talking to you, and like be Bill when it comes to the money you take. Also from his time, don't take so huge of time because he's gonna get tired of you. And this is not sustainable. So before we jump into that, just curious, and everybody here, we have almost 250, but we have 700 people registered. I think they will join. Is this model working? For example, you providing, so basically Go High Level is B to B to B to C, right? So you providing
or B to B to C, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right, B to B to B to C. So basically you providing SaaS companies, software companies, proudly I can tell, because myself, I used to white label, I don't want to promote those nightmares, and you came and basically I didn't change my life, my customers didn't change. I transferred everything to Go High Level. So for me, I know it's working, but let's talk bigger numbers.
Sure.
With me, worked. I'm here and I'm talking to you, and I have customers base, whatever. But this model that you're giving a full software base, open source, people can build anything or deliver it anyway. Is this working with how many businesses now in the United States? Like how many
sure. Well, I mean,
we're worldwide
now. Yeah, so we're worldwide now. So we're working with about 700,000 businesses and about 3 million users. So we're incredibly large. In fact, I would say we're one of the largest CRM products on the planet. We're at least in the top 5 now. And we've been doing this for 5 years. We have 700 employees. We're profitable. So I would say this business and model is absolutely working. And we've seen people, and the way we think about our success really honestly isn't that. We really think about our customers. I mean, we've seen customers now hit $10 million in revenue. We've seen customers exit their businesses. We've seen customers raise venture capital or private equity. So we've seen our customers, and some of our customers, we've just seen them create amazing, sustainable, recurring revenue businesses. So, and everything in between. So personally, I know this model is working. In fact, we talked about this last year, and we'll do it again this year. But each year we tally up how much revenue our customers have generated, and I have to tell you, it's a radical acceleration from last year. So we definitely know this model is working.
And when you say customer, it's not that plumber or that end customer, it's customer like GHL users.
Correct. That's right. Yeah. The SaaSpreneur. That's what we think about.
So there are companies, and I know them, some of them we don't know them because they are not so active on social media.
Yeah, right.
They are busy. They're making 10 million a year, so imagine that. It's doable. And also, that was another question. Is this doable? One time I didn't catch you talking about other companies that they are like a multi-million-dollar business, and they white label basically just another software, just like Go High Level.
That's Thrive. THRYV. Mm-hmm. They're a multi-million-dollar publicly traded company. You can look them up right now.
Thrive, and they do just like whatever I do, right?
Kind of, except the big thing there is all of the people that they that go out, they're employees, the salespeople. They're not running their own businesses, and they have very little, if any, marketing background. They're actually Yellow Page salespeople. So they have a very big background in selling Yellow Pages, which some people are on this call probably don't even know what those are anymore. But they certainly aren't something that most people buy anymore. And so you're talking about, so I think of these folks as sort of very inferior in their capacity to truly serve the end small business. But despite that, they're being incredibly successful. So what I have seen is that when our SaaSpreneurs go up against those folks, we obliterate them every time, because we have far more educated and far more equipped folks going out with a superior tool set. So we win all the time. But when there isn't a SaaSpreneur there, they're being very successful. And what it tells me is that our model and their model in some respects are similar, and that model is incredibly scalable. So, and I've seen people literally start in their basement of their mom's house and scale this up to $1 million or $2 million in revenue in a year's time. So I've seen some very successful folks. This model is the model of the future. Whether you do it here or you do it someplace else, it's absolutely how this is going to work.
I swear, anywhere there's internet, anywhere there's a business has social media, depending on internet, you can sell this product too. And I had another question also. I like to hear from you, your impact. So sometimes, when it comes to SaaS business models, no brainer, like you can delegate the delivery of the things is like right away, the fulfillment versus I'm selling t-shirts and all that stuff we are aware. When we talk to Thrive and those $10 million right away as a starter, me starting or my audience, like when I start, right away we see them and we want to act like them. But there's something I want you to tell us, like there's a transitioning phase, as you said, the basement, mom, whatever.
Always.
Like, how can I translate these step by step? Like, can I act the same way Thrive acting today if I'm starting today?
I mean, probably not, right? So, but you can get there, and so you can. This is the easiest business in the world to start, in my opinion, because the product works. The product is something that every single small business, medium business in your walkable area, bikeable area, drivable area needs, and that's actually where I tell most people to start. Is think of a business owner you need and go sell it go sell it to them. And then if you don't know a business owner, fine, just start knocking on doors. Use the prospecting tool inside High Level, like join a local business group, like a chamber of commerce or something. Like there's a million different ways to do this. But the point is just look around your local area. That's the number one place most people should start, because it's the easiest sale to make. And there's so much trust built into the fact that when you talk to a business owner in your local area, you just have a lot in common right out of the gate. And it creates a lot of trust that you just can't do at a distance. And so fundamentally, that's why this business is so easy to start, because most people just have to walk out their front door.
Exactly. And every business would need part of the system at certain point. I always tell my people, if you see a business, they're using social media or they have a website, they will need you. If you see they're not using social media and they would need you. So both ways you can position yourself.
Well, and long term here, we're not just marketing, right? So we started with marketing and with sales, but over time we're also moving into operations, right? Being able to provide an invoicing solution, a payment solution, an estimate solution. We're just about to launch mobile payments as well. So there's lots and lots and lots of areas where we're going to continue. I mean, my goal here is to make this system not just a marketing system, but an operation system for most small businesses. And so you have this opportunity. I would sell the marketing because it's exciting. Everybody wants to get more customers, this and that. But realize long-term, your goal is to actually help that whole business operate. And we're going to give you the tools to do that.
100%. In fact, on our website, the way we position it, we say our software has 4 elements, time saving, tools. And I always listen to you sell outcomes, not features.
Yeah.
We save you time, money, and grow you faster. And administration tool. There's a lot of like estimate, invoice, CRM, team management, tasks, and stuff.
Yep.
But again, also sometimes we get into this obsession mindset. We want to learn the entire system before we talk. I was guilty of that because it's fun. It's so much fun to build a workflow, and then all of a sudden all the week is gone and I'm learning a workflow and watching Shaun's video. Guess what? I didn't talk to any business. So what's your input in that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the number one mistake people make. In fact, it would be a way better way to go to learn nothing and to sell the system before you know anything than to go the other way around. I had somebody stand up at one of our events recently, and she said, I don't really understand high level, but I've already sold 5 customers. That's the perfect person for me, because we can help you learn things, set up things, make all the software technical stuff happen. But if you don't get out from behind your computer and actually go solve real world business problems for people, you're never going to get anywhere. And the best place to begin is just to pick one feature. It could be something as simple as reputation management, which is huge, right? Every small business wants more reviews. And you just say, hey, you know what? Would you like more 5-star reviews? And everyone will say yes to that. And then go solve that one problem. And that's a sale right there, right? I mean, I've heard this before. I'll say it again. My favorite example is the HVAC company that I still have as a customer to this day. All I did is set him up on reputation management. And that's a fancy term. It just means that I send out a notification to the customer. And you can do this off any kind of channel. You can do email, whatever, and say, hey, thanks a lot for letting us serve you. We'd love to hear how we did. Here's a link that makes it easy. And then literally just linking that. In my case, we linked him to Google because that's where he needs to be, get more reviews. Literally played out 6 years. He went from 12 reviews to 600 reviews. He went from 2 trucks to like 20 trucks now. He no longer does HVAC himself. And it was all off the back of these reviews, because fundamentally Google ranks businesses based on the number, the quality, and also the quantity and the recency of those reviews for local business within that service area. And so it was a very simple formula, and it's worked like crazy. And he's paid me $300 a month for 6 years now. And I think I've talked to him twice since then.
Oh, amazing. See, small value, but you solve big problem for them. And simple. Sometimes we don't need to overcomplicate it to go to huge companies. Fancy.
You never need to overcomplicate it. And, and I always throw out the example of Podium. Over $100 million, going to be publicly traded here in the short term, raised hundreds of millions of bucks. Go look at what they do. They still sell. It's funny. They still make the same sales pitch today that they did 15 years ago. Let me get you more reviews on Google. Let me get you more 5-star reviews. And they really have very basic features. They have 2-way text messaging. They have text to pay links, and I think and they have reputation management, and maybe they have like team chat these days, but they very, very rarely expand their product because they don't need to. Now, we of course may want to do more for our customers. High level certainly will always offer you that ability, but the point being is you can build a radically big business off some very simple features. So if you are going out with more than 1 or 2 features to begin with, you're making a big mistake.
I 100% agree. When I was on that phase of perfectionism and getting obsessed product and whatever, I used to spend a lot of time to change the user interface to my, so it doesn't look like I hired the business development, whatever was his title, Anderson. He said, brother, every single feature you have, there's multi-million-dollar companies. Like that live chat widget, that's it. Go sell that. So that was a big, a wake-up call for me.
In fact, the chat widget, I would tell you, is probably Podium's best feature. And it could be yours as well, because if you think about it, what you're really doing is you're taking people that are already coming to these websites and you're capturing them, whereas they weren't being captured before. And just by let's just say you do that one simple thing. You don't message them, you don't do anything, you just simply capture them. You can show that business owner, look, these are all leads that I got you for free. There's no ad spend here. And had I not been there for you, you would not have these leads, because they would have come to your website, gotten confused like they were before, and leave, right? Instead of trying to interface with you. Now, of course, you should say, all right, now that you've done that, let's have a conversation and let's turn these people from leads to customers. You should do more. But that one simple thing is massive. And I think actually Podium sells in on the reviews, but I think their real value is that chat widget, because they say, oh, well, yeah, we got you some reviews and that's great. And that's going to work. But look at the leads, the actual physical people you can sell to. Look at the ones we got you, and this is the best part about it. Most businesses, if you say, listen, how much does it cost you to get one customer? And if I deliver that to you, how much would that be worth? And if you charge $300 a month, I'm telling you, the vast majority of businesses, it's one customer. It really is. And you're going to do better than that. You're going to give them 10 customers. But the point is that it's a very low bar to success. It's very simple to do.
100%. And as you said, we don't need to sell them the entire system. All what we need to get in, with 1 feature, 2 features, social planner, all in one inbox, time saving, right?
Yep.
And then after that, after you build that rapport with the customer, that he gives you some access to his business, you step into his office, whatever. Hey, let me rebuild your website inside our whatever, and no extra like, you know, the product adoption, we call it, right? So they will depend on your saying, hey, let's do the review, let's do the only, like the social media
Yep.
plan or whatever. So always, instead of just like, sometimes I did this mistake, let me explain to you our system, and then
right.
after 30 minutes I see yawning, and then they will hate me too, like,
Yeah,
because they will see me that nerd marketing guy. So
exactly.
yeah, yeah, that's so important to know, like what we know is not what they know, and what we care, they don't care, right?
Yeah,
They
they
be
don't
like,
care.
yeah,
Exactly. Just remember that.
exactly.
Yeah, they
And
care about more customers and more 5-star reviews and more money coming through the door. And that's, if you focus on that, you'll do great.
exactly, 100%. So, uh, again, like I have so many personally, so many questions, but I'm sure like even my audience will be interested to hear those stuff from you. But again, I don't want to take a lot of your time. So, expanding wise, let's talk about some GHL insights. I mean, feel free to not share whatever, but you said you want to go. I mean, you guys international now today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And once I saw you guys are open to that, and my story here, like, you know, last year I was awarded with some like immigrants came to America, they did some cool jobs, whatever. And then
Oh,
after
cool.
that, I got a lot of attention or customers requests from Middle East. And I was like, you know what? I don't have in my success team, I don't have any Arabic speaker customer support, whatever. I can't serve them. Why I don't tell people how to do whatever? And then I was like, maybe GHL doesn't want to, whatever. And then when you told me like, hey, we're going international, whatever,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, it's time to do that. So since then we
100%.
have we built a great community. There's a lot of demand and whatever. So here I want I want to talk to you. Are you, I mean, that's, you confirmed that you are open to go and serve international, right? You're already doing some cool stuff,
Absolutely.
following European regulations. In the Middle East, there's not regulations, let's say. There's more technical stuff. Are you open to discuss that?
Sure. You ask me any questions, I'll happily answer.
I appreciate you. So, uh, for example, is there any way in the future to apply some right to left, you know, Arabic languages from the right to left? We were successful. Mr. Yusuf, he gave us a code. We are applying that to the website. So the website is getting, but are you guys open to make the entire
Well,
system?
yeah, I mean, we want to internationalize correctly. So, you know, we're going to do that for everybody. I don't know where we're at with Arabic, but we will certainly, but I mean, it's a massive language. So I guarantee it's near the top of our next one. But you know, I would want to make sure that if a native Arabic speaker used the product, that they would use it, they would feel comfortable with it. They wouldn't feel weird. It would feel like it was correctly structured. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we try to do it through, you know, some tools, some Google, whatever. It's
Yeah.
that cool.
It's hard. It is hard for sure.
It is hard. It's like and it's worth it. It's number four spoken language in the world. Okay, that's great. And then another thing, if you see enough, for example, users and customer base, I don't know what is enough to you, what is enough to me, but let's say enough impact that is serving your vision. Would you be open? This is, by the way, these questions, the top questions from the community.
Oh, I love it. You can ask me anything you want.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Would you be open to hire some Arabic speaker GHL customer support reps?
Oh, of course, absolutely. In fact, we started doing this. Spanish, for the record, so is our number 2 language after English, and so we actually already hired some customer support people in Mexico. So we'd have native Spanish speakers, and so yeah, we'll absolutely do that relative to our adoption rate. One of the nice benefits for us, I will say, is we do have folks like you who are bilingual, and so I think, and so what we've seen so far is in most major markets, you know, we'll have like German bilingual, Italian bilingual, you know, Portuguese bilingual, things like that, where we'll have somebody who can kind of span both things. And since they're serving the end customer, we don't have to do that. But as we have agencies who have those needs, we'll absolutely serve those agencies in the native language. And it doesn't matter to me what that language is. So Arabic is just as important as anything. So I'll just watch the numbers and we'll respond accordingly.
That's great news, and it's worth to. I know like you guys pretty quick, sometimes so impressive. I say how quick they did this, because I know like internally managing those stuff, it's so hard.
We kind of have a sneaky advantage. One of my co-founders lives in an native Arabic speaking country.
I know in Qatar. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
he's
if
been
we have
great
any
with us.
questions, we know who to ask. He just steps out his front door and goes to his neighbor's house.
Exactly. We are trying basically building this community, and our vision is 1,000 or 2,000 active SaaSpreneurs in the Middle East, and we're trying to make a conference. And for sure, I'm gonna force Varun to attend, or ask him.
You should. I want to come see Qatar badly, so I'll come attend as well.
Okay, that would be great. Qatar or Dubai or Egypt. I don't know yet, but this is all.
And that doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think there's so many amazing. Amazing Arabic nations. So I'm excited. As long as they'll let me in, I'll come.
You will definitely go back to the States with extra pounds, because they feed you a lot. And
Wow.
yeah,
I'll starve myself out so I can come back, neutral.
Exactly. Well, that's great. Okay, the most important question that everybody's waiting, and not only frustrating me. So let me tell you this. We have so many people. I don't know. I'm not the best person to explain this. They try to sign up to GHL, but their cards were declined. And we were like, oh, maybe you are using a prepaid card or something. Okay, but they say, oh, it worked when I bought the domain. Well, it worked. And then I sent them to my company's website.
Yeah.
We used Stripe and worked. Can you tell us what's going on?
I don't know. You'll have to get me the countries list. We did have quite a bit so for a while there, we had quite a bit of fraud, and I know that we struggled with it. And what was happening was we had people signing up, and then they would buy a phone number, and then they were doing this USPS sort of like FedEx scam thing.
Same thing happened to me.
There you go. And so, and not only was that bad enough, but we actually got threatened by Twilio to have our entire account shut down. And so we had to scramble, and I'm certain that we probably turned off a lot of countries. Now, of course, it's funny, what really eventually solved this was 3DS primarily. But if you can get me a list of countries, do you know what 3DS is, by the way?
I don't know. Can you explain to me?
Oh, yeah, it's funny. Every other country outside the US, it's almost a standard, but it's really simple. It's just 2FA for credit cards. So it's like you go to checkout on Amazon and you hit buy, and then a thing pops up from your credit card company and they say, hey, we're going to text you a code, put the code in. So now, even if I steal your real credit card, which is this is what was happening. So people were stealing real credit cards, right? So how do you stop someone who's signing with a real credit card? And they would have the real information and the address and this and this and this. So 3DS is actually the technology that fixes that, because now it's like I have to steal your card and your phone, which is real hard to do at the same time, right? Most people will notice at least one of them is gone. So fundamentally, then 3DS really helped with this. But if you can give me a list of countries, I'll have our billing team go back through and look at the radar rules and see if we're like blocking countries. And if so, we can get them unblocked.
Well, I made a workflow with updated. I worked, but yes, I will let you know with the list of the
because we're in favor of unlocking any countries that we possibly can. We just don't want to get defrauded.
Yeah, definitely not. This happened with us too. This UPS, whatever, because we used to get free trial and $25 credit, and we saw people whatever. So we stopped giving that credit, and we turned off.
Anybody who struggles with that, the answer is 3DS. And in fact, I actually think we should all have 3DS turned on by default. If you haven't seen it, Google it. You can turn it on in your Stripe account. It is a really good way to protect yourself from these types of scams, because again, there's two things going on actually. So one, you almost always know it's the card holder. And then if you read the documentation, the credit card companies believe in it so much that they'll actually give you coverage on any fraud chargeback. So if someone says and marks that charge as a fraudulent charge, you actually won't be held liable for it if it goes through 3DS.
True. There's radars and whatever. So what we're asking you guys, please, if you guys can slow down the radar or whitelist those.
Oh, yeah. I think that's an easy fix. You just need a list of countries.
I have more than 1,000 people ready to sign.
Perfect.
Great. And while they are waiting, I talked to a few of them. They know the system. They watched all your videos, all my videos. So they are ready to thrive, actually. Great. Thank you. So another question related to that. Are you guys open also, like how you guys offering the payment option for
Yep.
for the sub account level, there are like PayPal, authorized.net, Stripe and all that stuff. Are you guys open to add some Middle Eastern companies that they will work with those credit cards to add it there for sub account level?
Well, actually, we're working on this right now. So in general, our payments, our international payments haven't really moved beyond Stripe. I mean, authorized.net and NMI, those really aren't international. I mean, maybe they have like some UK and this and that, but they're not really international solutions. But what we're doing right now is we're going out and saying, okay, let's look at our customer base. We've internationalized on the language, right? That's the biggest thing, to see where we got uptake there. And then from there, it's okay, now let's go find payment providers that are regional. Hopefully it's regional, if it's a pain in the neck to do, like Brazil payments and, whatever, like Sri Lanka payments and this kind of thing. So we're looking for payments providers that have really good coverage, but we are doing a big assessment right now. And then the goal is just to pick the best regionally and sign all of those folks up.
Well, that's great. And
timeline wise, I would expect something to roll out there in Q4.
This year.
Yeah.
That's faster than even what we wish for. Because as I said, when we start, our community is just starting a few months now, and we have great people. Like we have people, they signed up 6 customers in 6 days and whatever. But again, you're not gonna sell that advanced feature from day first. Sell the small stuff, sell the easy explanation and stuff, then go to that big setups. Great. Yeah. So let's say in the future, we're not gonna bring you in every time, so I wanna take advantage of you. In the future, if we have any requests, for example, the other day they brought to my attention the social planner, which is amazing selling tool in the Middle East now. But they found out that everything is working, Arabic or whatever, but that it's not supporting Arabic hashtags. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, that's just let me ping the product manager.
Yeah. I mean, this is an example. If we have a product enhancement request or something like that, what is the best way of us as a community to reach out to you guys and ask it?
Well, so I would open a ticket because then we can track it, right? So tickets, because everything starts as a ticket, because fundamentally we have to figure out, okay, listen, is this a user error? Is this a system error? Is it not an error at all? If it's just, is it an enhancement? And then it routes its way correctly to the right product manager, and then they put it on the roadmap and get it done. That's how we get almost everything done.
Yeah, or like if it's an idea, we can suggest it as an idea and vote for it.
Yeah, and then the other third piece of this is if it's in labs, if you go to labs, there's always a send feedback button, and that actually goes directly to the product manager for that feature, because the whole point of labs is, hey, look, this is something we think is ready to go live. Can you turn it on, try it, and then give us feedback? That's why it's at a per sub account level. So you can, or if it's at the agency level, it's an agency feature. Like we just launched the apps marketplace yesterday, right? So if you go in and you're using apps marketplace and you're like, hey, wait a second, what about this? There's a send feedback button right there in the lab. So it goes right to the product manager. So we can really quickly zip through any of that feedback before we take it live.
Nice. That's great. Okay, with some technical more issues, and I will let you
fire away.
Yeah. Okay. What is the most 3 exciting features that coming up, if you want to like release those?
Let's see. I think the AI bot is going to be huge. AI continues to be, in my opinion, an incredibly important feature. And what we've noticed is that we need to make it automatic for our customers. So we will have this live probably by the 15th, or with full automatic AI. So the idea there is you don't have to do anything. The AI, you'll be able to put your customer's website in there, use it as a training base, so that we'll spider the site, pull it all in, use it to train the bot, and then the bot will just know what's there. Then you'll also be able, of course, to not only add in manually additional items, you'll also be able to look at chats that the AI bot responded to. And if you find one you don't like, let's say the AI bot says, we don't have blue, we only have green and red. And you're like, oh, what are you kidding me? Of course we have blue. You can hit this like down thing, like this down thumb, and then you can change the answer and it'll retrain the bot automatically. So that's a huge feature. WhatsApp is also going to be a massive feature. That is literally it's in beta right now internally. And so that'll be out by the end of this month to everybody. I think WhatsApp is a really awesome channel outside the US in particular. So I think that'll be great. And then I would say the other big thing I'm excited about is our e-com offering that we're going to be dropping in October. So when you come, if you come to Level Up, the Level Up Summit, you'll see it. And then if not, you'll see it shortly after that. But it's a full Shopify / Klaviyo sort of replacement. And it's really designed to bring people that a whole other channel of selling that we just haven't had up until this point.
Wow, that's great, and I'm so excited, of course, about the WhatsApp, and we are about to test it. But can you clarify? I think WhatsApp is not. We cannot use WhatsApp same like texting, right? WhatsApp is owned by Meta, and there's like 24 hours, window regulations.
Well, actually, so I don't know all the rules here, but there are a couple of things to keep in mind there. So WhatsApp actually has this idea of being able to send out blasts. So, and the way they call them templates, and in essence, what's happening here, you'll be able to create these templates. And so I think the way Meta thinks about it is, okay, fine, you want to send out a blast message, that's cool, but we want to know what the heck you're going to say, right? And so I think you create a template. I think they have some kind of approval process. But then when you do that, you can actually go outbound, and you can do that whether that person, so Facebook Messenger has this weird thing where I can't message you until you message me, right? But WhatsApp is different, I believe, because you can actually message anybody where you know their number, but you have to do it, if they're not talking to you actively, you have to do it through a template, but at least there's an option to do that versus not, right? And I think, so if you're not, but again, there's, no matter what channel you're in, there's rules, right? And in general, if you think about it as a consumer, all of us get messages. You just said, hey, I got a FedEx scam. You did not want that to be a possibility in your life. You didn't want to live in a world where somebody could try to scam you out like that. And so there's all the rules from the platforms are designed to try to eliminate that sort of behavior, right? And so while on one hand, everybody hates the rules when they hit them, they love the rules, or maybe they don't love the rules, but they don't know the rules are out there, but they protect them. So as a good marketer, it's really quite simple. If you're messaging with me, it ought to be around something that I've shown interest in, and you need to be closing this deal off anyways. If I'm not taking action within some prescribed period, you're probably not doing a great job getting me interested, or I'm not your right target audience, and you shouldn't be talking to me anyway. So fundamentally, I wouldn't be too radically scared of these rules. And remember, Meta has a very big interest in taking your money. So unlike what we're seeing in the US with A2P10 DLC on the SMS side, the carriers actually don't make a lot of money off of that channel. So while they are certainly putting regulations in place for spam and so forth, they don't have a big profit motive going on. A lot of people think they do, but there's really not. If you think about peer-to-peer traffic versus, sort of business to consumer traffic is an infinitesimally tiny piece of the pie. But WhatsApp, Meta has come out recently, you can go look this up. They see a big future in WhatsApp business messaging. So they have a big vested interest in this. So I do think that channel will do quite well.
Wow, that's so interesting. And also it's worth to remember, no matter the tool you're using, GHL is only a tool. Respect the channel that you're gonna, whatever.
Yeah. You're just talking to me, right? And WhatsApp, we all know it's pretty personal. It's like a text. It goes into my pocket. So, you're really asking a lot of me. And so if you really want to be right there next to my mom or something, right? Like your conversation is right there. Make sure that conversation is worth me having there. And if you think about it like that, you'll do fine.
Yeah, 100%. And while we're talking about phone numbers and everything, LC, when do you think LC will be supporting foreigner countries, at least Arabic countries?
Well, the question, I wonder about that. So to what extent is that really the right answer? So I don't know so this is where I think it's very important to go country by country, because some countries, even countries where we have SMS in, the number of people who use SMS there is zero. It's a WhatsApp kind of situation, right? I've traveled outside the US enough to know that the vast majority of foreign countries skip the SMS bit because the carriers, didn't bake it into the plan. So in the US, the adoption was easy because the carriers gave away SMS for quote unquote free, but they just basically baked it into the cost of your monthly plan. So a lot of people continue to SMS. But outside the US, carriers refuse to do that. So WhatsApp had huge adoption internationally just because of the fact that they gave it away. So the real question is, if I do go to an Arabic country, native Arabic speaking country, do they even use SMS? Because if they do, great. Let's push hard to get there. But if they don't, let's not waste our time. Let's use WhatsApp. Let's use Facebook Messenger. Let's find the channel that they're actually talking on and work that channel because that's really what matters.
That's very smart. So we don't need to copy the America's experience right away to Brazil and right away to Arabic countries.
No, because we all know that it's ironic, right? Because we already know that like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or lots of other messaging channels have actually a more robust, better experience already. Like it's actually, you can do stuff in WhatsApp you can't do in SMS, right? SMS is an old clunky technology. So it's certainly already better to be in these other messaging channels. And so I personally, in the US, I like that like Google has their RCS format, which is sort of like an open source iMessage. I mean, they have terribly pathetic adoption on it, but that's the type of thing that gets me excited because it moves us more towards kind of an open source WhatsApp experience that isn't really owned by anybody. But until that day comes, but in the meantime, if you're already on WhatsApp, you already know it's better than text anyways.
I love it. I do everything on WhatsApp, family, business, friends. I have both of them.
Yeah, totally. So I'm more interested in what matters to the person, like on the street in that country. What are they really using to communicate? And I think that's where we should focus.
That's amazing. Great. One of the last few questions, Yext, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not, the online listings. Yeah, it's not available there. What is the right way to go? Is it something under your control?
If I'm being really honest with you, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay,
and here's why. I think that, so if you really think about what listings are and where they came from a time when Google didn't have a lot of information on businesses. And so what they were doing is they were going out to these existing websites that had created sort of relationships with businesses and had the information that Google needed. But now we have the Google Business Profile, and the Google Business Profile has been out for a long time now. And so what that really was is Google's sort of mission to get that information directly themselves. And so they've done that now. And so as a result, listings in general as a product continue to be less and less and less and less of a thing because Google doesn't need that information anymore. So now it pays less attention to it. If it were me and I was operating for a local business, I would focus squarely on Google, get their Google Business Profile as robust as possible, and work rocket hard on those reviews because that's what matters. Fundamentally, it's about the reviews all day long because if at some point I'm Google, I know there are 100 plumbers that will drive 100 miles from this zip code. And so within there, I got to figure out how to rank these folks. And, if the description on the profile is good and there's good pictures and this and that, fantastic. Okay, now what? Like at some point, what you're going to realize is they're going to just be like Amazon. They're going to say, all right, well, we're going to look at the reviews and we're going to use the content of the reviews, the quality of the reviews, the recency of the reviews, the amount of the reviews as the way to really determine who to show. Because we just know that somebody with 500 reviews who gets, 5 reviews a week, that's got an average rating of 4.9 stars is going to be probably better for a consumer than someone with less than.
Wow, that's 100% true. And Google is killing it, honestly, versus, Yellow Pages and all back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, that ship has sailed. Yeah. At least in the North American market. And I would say I continue to, it's funny. I mean, I just recently traveled to Japan. I've been in a lot of Asian countries, and I've been surprised over time to see Google even there is way more reliable just as a source of where to go eat for the night. I remember the days when Yelp used to rule the land of food, and I've seen a big shift there, and not just in the US, but also, outside the US. So I definitely think they really own that. And I'm certain there's some countries where there's some local directories that are still more popular, but I suspect not for long.
Yeah, and it's been like a year or so, they pushing the chat feature. And honestly, a lot of business owners, they are not aware. I agree
with that. They don't know, but that's a massive mistake. And that's another place where AI will be just crushing it. If you look at our AI bot that's coming up, it's channel agnostic. So it can chat on WhatsApp. It can chat on GBP or whatever it's called. I used to call it GMB. Yeah. Google Business Profile, GBP. I got to rewire my brain here. GBP chat, you know, and so fundamentally, I think this is where business owners will go to really crush it. It's funny, we actually turn that feature on by default when you connect the Google profile. And we do that on purpose because we know most people don't know about it or are scared to turn it on, whatever. But I'm like, forget that. If you don't turn that on, you're going to lose, because I can't tell you how many people I chat now. Whenever I see that icon on Google Maps, I'm chatting because I'm like, hey, I just need to ask a quick question. I don't want to call you because that's a waste of time. I don't want to drive down there. I'll tell you that much. I just want to know, do you have what I need at the price I need? And if so, I'll make the trip. But I don't want, but outside of that, no thanks. And I'm going to hit the chat button because it's just easier, right? We all know it's easier. So it's just a way, way, way better way to interact with businesses.
That feature alone kind of expanded my client retention. We had a customer and our GHL right away enabled that. And after a while I said, oh, you don't know about this? And she never used our app, right? And then I said, yeah, people text you and let's go. And I did the filter, GMB text, and this person came, and then she downloaded our app. Since then, she's now using the calendar, the all-in-one inbox, and everything. So
what type of business are they?
Say again?
What type of business are they?
It's non-organization profit, like
okay,
non-profit organization.
Non-profit, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to really scare a business owner, if you have a restaurant, oh man, turn it on for restaurants and crush it. People like, hey, do you have a table for 6 tonight? And if they're on it, they could just mint money. Do you guys offer takeout? Do this, and it's just respond, and just go for it, right? Take credit cards, get people booked, like do it, right?
And you said the AI can even reply to Google reviews.
Oh yeah. Oh no, yeah. So that is already live right now with the one where. So we wanted to test it out because we obviously want to make sure we're doing a great job. So you can like say like click here to make it generate the reviews. And it's gone great. So everyone loves it. And so now we'll enable full auto on that here shortly. So then it'll be just auto reply to the review without you touching a button.
Wow. Well, that's not going to look so generic, same question, same reply over and over again. Or
no, I mean, that's the whole point of the AI. If you use that, and that was actually the point of the feature to test it. So the answer is no, it will not look generic. But you know, the ironic thing is this is a great example of overthinking it. How many people really sit there and read all the responses?
No. Oh, Google. Only Google.
Exactly, precisely. And that's exactly right. But because it's AI, it's not generic in its responses.
So it will change the response from one to another.
And it's using the context of the review to fundamentally formulate the response. So the response will be unique.
That only, for me, it's an amazing selling point just to step into any business and sell your SaaS. Seriously,
absolutely.
I will respond.
100%.
But, I will respond on whatever. Whoa, you're going to do that? But guess what? It's the system responding. And they will just respect you for such a system. Man, that's amazing. And I forgot to pick your brain on something. I did this mistake, and this is the final tip. I want you, as an experienced person, and you have run another software companies before that, and a successful person, I always say, they failed enough in order to become successful. So what is your tip on just us selling the feature and then walk away to the next customer versus we can make that sale happen every month with good customer support or customer success?
I don't think you can live in a world where you're not helping your customer. So you need to have enough. And this is where, by the way, when I say that people should charge $300 a month, there's a reason for that. As you scale, you want to be in a position where you can support your customer. You want to be able to take that phone call. It's also another reason why you should be simple and you should package your features and not sell everybody everything. You need to have tight packaging. That way that what you're really doing is you're creating a bound around all of the questions that they can answer, right? And so you can create great help documents and great YouTube videos and all that wonderful stuff. But at some point, you got to realize that you're in the human to human business. And no one likes a no, or we don't talk to our customers, or go read the help docs. None of us like that. We want help. Even if, by the way, I'm asking for something that's in a help doc, even if all you're doing is looking the help doc, I do this all the time. I'm like, hey, have you seen this help doc? Right? And it's right there. And I could have been like, hey, you moron, it's in the help docs. I can't believe you didn't look at it. But that's not how we work as people, right? We're running around, we're busy. We're willing to read something if you give it to us. but we may or may not know that it exists. So you're just leading me to it. So do not think you can't support, you don't have to support your customer, because you absolutely do.
Yeah, that's that social media thing. Yeah, just run and software will do the thing and you go to the beach.
Yeah, because if that were true, right? If that were true, you would not exist. We wouldn't exist, right? This model would not exist. What we're trying to do is help another human being solve a problem. And some of that is a tool, some of that is strategy, and some of that is just good old-fashioned customer service. You bring that all together, magic will happen, money will fall from the sky, you'll do great, but you can't not have one of those pieces to be successful.
Look at you. What are you doing now? Like who I am, like whatever. Like you are on Facebook answering people, whatever. This is custom. And in fact, a big shout out, like why I joined the GHL, or everybody's joining, because we saw that culture of care, the care culture versus other tools. There's a ton of tools, whatever. We were like, it was a dream for us to talk to a founder and the CEO of that, or like even an employee to hear there's no such a way. Even in my company, I serve my customers and we jump into a call, whatever. They say, wow, I never had a software that I could talk to a real person there. So 100%, I agree with that. And never like downsell your packages, because you will be tired. You will have 100 people, they will have the same questions and you're making only $1,000, right? But again, I heard one time you saying you will give that ability, because I have like some countries, we have Egypt, Syria, Iraq, whatever, dollars is a lot of, and in the SaaS Pro now, we cannot sell it under $97. Is there a possibility in the future we can customize our pricing?
Well, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out with per user pricing and per contact pricing for SaaSpreneurs. So the idea there is you're not going to let, so the problem is, think about, so why is that? The why is really important here. So the why is, we don't want you to make a mistake and hurt yourself, right? So what people would do if we let them is they would sell it for free or $1 lifetime and this and that. And they would do a really crappy job of supporting customers, and they would just fundamentally build a terrible business. And in fact, before we had this, I would meet people who routinely would get to 500 customers at $27 a month, and they hated their life because they were like, I have all these people calling me, they want help, but they're only paying me $27. And now they're frozen, because now they're like, I worked really hard. I built this base of 500 customers. I thought it was going to be great, but now there's no money for me to do anything. I can't help these people. So they hate their life. That is what we were trying to keep you from doing. Now, making easier entry points to that at lesser dollar amounts, that's fine with me, because what will happen is the way we structure the per contact and the per user pricing is that by the time they get up to a certain size, they're going to be paying the 97, right? Or more than the 97, right? But we just do not want to have you live in a world where, you can hurt yourself that way. And we also can't live in a world where it's software, right? So it's hard. Like we always try to think like, well, could we do per country pricing? And maybe there's a way to do that and this and that. But the problem with that is like, oh, well, I'm just going to go buy it from, this other country or whatever. And people will play games and fundamentally, again, they'll just hurt themselves. They think they're being so smart right up until they get 1,000 customers they can't support. And those 1,000 customers hate them, don't quit, they churn. And we're not helping anybody by letting people build crappy businesses. We need to just be honest with people as to what this really takes in order to do a great job. So fundamentally, that's my concern. But I think we'll start with the per contact pricing, we'll start with the per user pricing, we'll see how that goes, and then we'll kind of roll from there.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for your time. I literally looking at
this was great.
I have an hour. I don't want to waste even a minute. Well, thank you so much for your care. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we can do something will take us all to the same vision and
Oh, we will 100%. And like I said, please get me that list of countries. We'll follow up on it with you. And we'll go from there.
I will email you that.
Please do.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thanks everybody for coming. Bye for now.
Bye. We will see you again in the future.